Hello, and welcome back to City of Swans pixel art course with me, Ridden. Today we'll be taking a look at how to use pixel art in a game engine. We'll be using Unity for the engine as it's really friendly to start learning and has a lot of tutorials and help forums. In this video I'll provide a file and also teach you how to set up the Unity scene so you can get this playing on your computer. First off, you're going to want to open up Unity Hub and set up a new project. So click New. Go to 2D, very important, call it whatever you'd like to call it, and hit create. And now we'll just take a second for Unity to make the project. Okay, now Unity's opened up the project, we've got a nice blank project ready to go. So what you're going to want to do is go to Assets, and go to Import Package, Custom Package. This is where you're going to import the package that I gave you. So, you're going to want to grab that package, and bring it in. Hit import without changing any of what you bring in. Now we're in that file, we're going to open up the scene movement. So, that brings us to an already working version of what we're making. With this version, you can play around with it a bit. You can use the WASD keys to change the direction of the character's movement. And also, you can press space to launch their attack. Let's get to making your own version though. Open up Images, and you're going to want to bring in the version of your walk cycle that you've already got. Now, I've made a version just for this one of a blue version. So, for your fourth and last assignment, I'd like you to animate an attack for your character. In my example, I've made the character summon fire. This attack is nice and simple, so it's all contained within one animation. I could potentially make more fire animations and scatter them around when the main attack goes off, but for the moment we're keeping it simple. So, we're going to be animating both the walk and attack on this. You can see here with my example that it's already separated out into characters. With the one that I've just brought in, it's not, so we're going to change that. We're going to click on this one so it brings up all the settings here, change the sprite mode from single to multiple, and change the filter mode from bilinear to point, and then go to sprite editor. Now, we're going to go to slice, and change it from automatic to grid by cell count. Grid by cell count means by how many versions of the character are in a line. So we have 4 by 4, so we're going to change those numbers to 4 and 4. When we slice it up, there'll be nice little even squares. We hit apply, and that's all done. So now when we go to this character, it's all sliced up. Now I'm going to go and do my attack as well. Change it from multiple, and go to point. This one's got 3 by 3, so we're going to change the number from 4 to 3, and slice that up. That's all good. So now both our attack and our walk are sliced up and ready to go. To start off, we need to create a sprite. So we'll disable our sprite from before. We go over here to the settings and just turn it off up here. And now we create a new sprite. We can call it whatever we like. I'm going to call mine Blooper. So now, Blooper doesn't have a face yet. We need to go over to our sprite settings and go to sprite, and where it says none sprite, we're going to click the little circular thing here and pick the first frame of the walk cycle. So now, there's our character. Now we're going to start animating it. We're going to right click and go to create, animation, and we're going to call it walk forward. It's very important you get the spelling exactly right. So, for mine I've done a capital W and a capital F and no space in between. It's very important that you do the same thing. So now, when we go to this, we can open up the animation, and it brings us this animation tab. For my ease, I'm going to move it over to the right hand side of my thing and bring it open a little bit. So now, when we click on Blooper, we can start creating an animation. Now, we've already created one here, so we're going to select that, save it, and click yes. So now, it's created an animation controller, and the animation is linked to the controller. So, we then grab our characters. This is the walk forward, so I'm going to grab all of the frames from the walking forward part of our animation. Here I move it over to here, and I feel like I want to put it at 45. That seems like the right speed. So now I can click play and it walks, but you see there's a little bit of a jitter there. That's because we haven't given it another frame to finish on. So we're going to grab the beginning frame and put it at 100. So now, when I hit go, it has somewhere to finish the animation on. We're going to do this for all of the walk cycles. From left and right and back and forward, they all need to have 5 frames, the 4, and then the first one again at the end. So, now to create in the next animation, we go here to walk forward and create new clip. Okay, now we've got all our walk cycles done. I'm also going to create the attack. If you haven't made your attack yet, you can skip this step, it's all good, but we'll add it in. So now I'm going to close off my walk cycles and bring up my attacks. I'm going to do something a little bit different from my attack. Because there's a lot of frames here, I'm going to pace it a bit differently. I want to make it, because there's 8 frames long, 10 seconds each frame, so it's going to go to 120 frames. So, I'm going to move it out to 120. I made it a little bit bigger just by scrolling outwards. So now when I hit go, there we go. So now our attacks are all created, we need to go into the animation controller here. So, this helps us visualize how our animations are playing out. I like to move it around a bit so I can help visualize because I'm a visual learner. So, when we start playing, it automatically goes to walk forward. That's what our entry point is. Now, the only thing we need to do at this point, because the script I'll add later on controls most of our animations, the only bit, after the attack, we don't want it to attack again. We want it to change back to walking. So what we'll do is right click, make a transition, and change it back to walk forward. So once it's finished playing the attack, it moves over to walk forward again. And that's all done. So now, all we need to do, we'll go to blooper, and then we'll grab our script, character direction, and you can see here the script. I'll explain the script a little bit. The script means that this is what's called a mono behavior, and that's a little bit technical, but the animator is called an anim. That's what I've named my animator, and the anim is linked to whichever animator is part of the character this script is also part of. Now, the important bit here is that if I press key code, which is, the key that we're pressing, key code D, I want it to walk right. If I press key code W, I want it to walk backwards. So, all these different key codes mean that it plays a certain animation. And that's the simplified version. So, we're going to go back to blooper, and we're going to drag this script over here into the settings and right there. So now, when the character direction script sees the animator, it grabs all the animations that are part of that animator and plays them. So now, when we hit go, our characters automatically start walking forward, and they can go left, right, back, forward again, and then if you hit space, it plays the attack. That's all from me, and I hope you had fun learning how to make pixel art and put it in a game engine. I've got some links in the description below for ways you can take your learning a bit further. If you see me around Insidious Swan, feel free to give me a wave. Catch you later.